everybody, hope you're doing good. So today I will be talking about how to take care of your seedlings once they have begun to germinate. Okay, so the first thing that you should know is when should you transfer your seedlings from a heat mat or wherever they are germinating or beginning to sprout over to their light source if they are not there already. So the answer to this question is really almost immediately. As soon as you start seeing the stems pop up from the seeds, not even completely sprouted yet, go ahead and take those and put them under the light. And I'll insert an example here. Now, once you take and place your seedlings under your light, depending on the strength of your light, that is going to determine the distance away from the light that you will place your seedlings. So if you have a strong light like I do, then you'll want to place those seedlings anywhere from 12 to 18 inches away from the light. Or if you have a weak light, you'll want to place that probably anywhere from 4 to 8 inches away. That can really vary. So just check the specs on your light. I'm sure that there will be recommendations. If not, you can kind of go by those guidelines and they generally work out well. As for the amount of time that you'll need to have the lights on for your seedlings, that can also vary. So if you're growing something like lettuce, they only really require 4 to 6 hours of sunlight. But for most other vegetable seedlings like your peppers and tomatoes, you'll want to do anywhere between 8 to 12 hours is what I generally do. For optimal growth, it's actually recommended that you do 14 to 16 hours. So that is what came up with the Google search. I myself have always done about 12 hours just to mimic the daylight cycle. Now, sometimes it happens to where all of your seedlings aren't germinating at the same time, so you leave them on that heat mat, or you just wait a little bit longer and now your seedlings are leggy. So what can you do in this situation? Well, you have a couple of options. If it's not too late, sometimes they get too leggy and you may just have to start the seeds over or just move on from it. Other times, just go ahead and repot those into a deeper container, or if you're going to be transplanting them soon, you can go ahead and just plant them deeply into the ground. The main thing here is that you're trying to prevent the stem from breaking because it's so tall and lanky. Another way to prevent your seedlings from being lanky is to actually have a fan on them or to come through once a day and kind of pet your seedlings so that that will create a little bit of resistance and it will actually make the stem stronger. So do that and then also get them under that grow light as soon as possible and you'll be sure to have a strong seedling. You'll want to begin fertilizing your plant about the first week after they germinate. So this can actually depend. You may have a little bit of leeway if you're using compost or a potting mix. If you're using a seed starting mix, they are actually sterile, so you do want to begin fertilizing them as soon as possible. You could wait a little bit longer with the compost and potting mix. Now, as for the amount of the fertilizer that you should be giving your plants, you'll want to fertilize once a week with a diluted fertilizer. I use an all-natural fertilizer. It is a fish and seaweed fertilizer. So this one actually calls for about a tablespoon per gallon. When it comes to watering your seedlings, definitely do not let them dry out. I know for me right now, I'm having to water them about twice a week, so I'll have one watering that is fertilized and one that is not. So just be sure that you're checking on them every day or every couple of days. If you're growing in cell trays or using a double cup method, you have a little bit more leeway with that, so you can go a little bit longer without watering. I would definitely recommend that you bottom water them to keep from getting water on the stems and the leaves. A lot of the times if you do that and the light hits it, it can actually burn those up. So to avoid this, if you're not going to be bottom watering, just water at night or early in the morning before the light hits it. So the growing temperature for your seedlings, that can vary a little bit, like things like lettuce and brassicas, they don't want hot temperatures. So you could really have a variation on that, but what I always do is just room temperature. So the last thing on my seedling care tip list here is to not separate your seedlings too early or too late. So let your if you're doing it that way. So I have my tomatoes and such in a cup and I'm going to be separating those seedlings when they're ready. So I'll probably wait about a couple of weeks after their first true leaves come in and they're about maybe 3 to 4 inches tall. So when that time comes, I'll definitely be sure to share it. But if you do it too early, you risk breaking the stems because they're still very weak. And if you wait too long, you're going to probably have a chance of really disturbing the root system and possibly stunting the plant. Okay, well, that's going to be it for all of the care tips that I have for you. If you have more, don't be afraid to share those in the comments. And I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you have a great day. Bye.